It's a title Sunday here in Houston for Fury FC 94 as Adam Vigil takes on Tayde. But first, we get things going with our prelims broadcast on the Fury Facebook and YouTube pages live from the Imagine venues. It's time for these fighters to unleash the Fury and welcome in. I'm Rahil Ramzanli, joined by the black belt himself, Micheal Alexander, UFC veteran Alex Morono, and yes, there is a title on the line when we go to UFC Fight Pass, but this prelims is stacked with some big names, Alex.
Yeah, stacked card, all pros. David Armas versus Michael Murphy. That is a Houston MMA fans fight of the night, dream fight. That's going to be awesome.
How about you, Michael? Some of the big names you're excited to watch.
Yeah, anytime there's heavyweights on the card, you can look for those big knockouts. And Miles Banks is about as big a heavyweight as you're ever going to see at this level. And then we've got Bekah, Irwin. There's all kinds of great fights on here. I can't wait to get started.
Yeah, man. As you mentioned, Bekah, Irwin making that debut. Felipe Rocha making his debut as well. The former amateur light heavyweight champion, now moving to 185. So a lot of good fights, all pros. Let's get things started and join the fourth member of our broadcast crew, the best dressed man in MMA, the Fury FC Hall of Famer. Here he is, Wayne Leggett.
Hello, fight fans, and welcome to Escapade at Imagine Venues in Houston, Texas. This is Fury FC 94, Vigil versus Guerrero. But first, please welcome to the blue corner for your opening preliminary contest, Bruce Xavier.
All right, Bruce Xavier, the black belt who trains at the MMA lab, making his Fury FC debut, coming in and trying to snap a two-fight losing streak, Michael.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't stayed extremely active. Made his debut in 2016 as an amateur, and has only had 5 fights since then. So, you got to think he's been off for a little over a year, and so it'd be interesting to see the new and improved Bruce Xavier. I know he's looking to get that record even.
Yeah, he looks like he's in good shape, and he does come out of the MMA lab. That is a very high-level gym. They have a couple guys on this card, so I think it really depends on what was he doing in that year off. If he was at the gym training, skill sets improve. And man, I'll tell you, for an opening fight, yeah, I think it's going to be pretty classic grappler here in Xavier versus Striker and Costello. But this is going to be a fun one to open up for sure.
Yeah, this is going to be a good card to get us going, or our prelims card, 6 fights for you. Bruce Xavier, Matty Ice, Matt Costello coming out in just a second. But Bruce is heading inside, as you mentioned, in great shape. Abs are popping out. That's always a good sign. And we'll see what he's been doing in that time off. The black belt is inside. Let's meet his opponent.
Please welcome Matt Costello to the red corner.
Matt Costello, third time here at Fury as a professional, on a 1-fight win streak after finishing Chris Fatig in round 3 back in April, Michael.
Yeah, Matt Costello, one of our favorite fighters to see come out. And we have seen this man shrink from the first time we saw him as a heavyweight. Fought as a heavyweight a couple times, came down to light heavyweight, and is now a 185er, and he looks great, Alex.
Yeah, this is actually the first time we've seen him at middleweight. It was a long time coming, Mike, like you said. And again, he does look good. I remember when he first started training. I had trained a lot at Gracie Bahal West Chase. I think that's where he still teaches his striking, and he trains now at Main Street. But I remember him as a youngster, man. He must have been, from now, probably 70, 80 pounds heavier. He was always scrappy, always had good technique. He was a good martial artist. But now he's got the physical regimen behind him. And we'll see what kind of fighter we can expect. He looked great in his last performance, got a TKO over a very game opponent. And again, he's got another game opponent here tonight. So, I mean, this is going to be a fun fight to open up the card.
We look at our tail of the tape brought to you by Space City Collective. You want to get your feet fresh, you go to Space City Collective. The reach advantage, height advantage for the 26-year-old, even on that age, too. Bruce Xavier. And that number is just incredible. 185.4 for Matty Ice. We talked about the weight loss. He is inside. Let's get this going. Here are our introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, your opening contest, brought to you by Space City Collective, is scheduled for 3 rounds in the Fury FC middleweight division. Introducing your first competitor, fighting out of the blue corner. This mixed martial artist stands 6 feet 2 inches tall, and he weighed in officially at 184.8 pounds. Fighting out of Glendale, Arizona, by way of Goiânia, Brazil. He holds a professional record of 1 win, 2 losses. Here is Bruce, the Wolf, Xavier. In introducing his opponent across the cage, fighting out of the red corner. This freestyle fighter stands 6 feet, 1 inch tall, and he weighed in at 185.4 pounds. Fighting out of Houston, Texas, his professional record stands at 1 win, 1 loss. Here is Matty Ice Costello. Your referee in charge of the action, JJ Ferraro.
All right, JJ Ferraro with the first assignment of the night. Our middleweights are inside. Let's get this one going. Blue gloves for Bruce Xavier, Matty Ice in the red.
Yeah, Matty Ice known for volume strike. I mean, he's powerful. Oh, but he'll throw high volume and he'll stay very consistent. The way guys have had to beat him in the past was by getting him to the ground.
Little cut opening up under the right eye of Costello. Looked like the glove just grazed him in that first exchange. Big left from Bruce Xavier.
Yeah, that left hand continues to land on the cheekbone of Matt Costello. Bruce Xavier kind of feigning that jab.
He got cut on his head.
Yeah.
I think both guys are just landing in these exchanges. They're both just rifling off some hooks in the pocket. Both are making contact.
The rare cut right on the fade line of the haircut. Might be a little bit higher, but man.
There's that left hand again. Matty has shown a tremendous chin.
Yeah, I was going to say, we've seen Matt Costello in these kind of fights before. He is very, very durable.
What's funny is they're both cut on the absorbing side of the strikes. It's it's the rear left hook of Xavier that's busting up Matt's right side. And then it's Matt's right hook that's busted up Xavier's left side. I mean, I expected Xavier to wrestle pretty early on and use his black belt, but he's not only content to strike, but he's doing good damage.
Man, 2 big kicks there followed up by a flurry of punches from both guys.
Oh, nice uppercut. Notice the timing on that uppercut. From the orthodox stance, Xavier switched. That was pretty slick. Switches back to southpaw. Oh, that one got right under the elbow. Oh, that jab got through too. I'll tell you, that liver kick was super sharp there from Xavier. Really snuck in. Kind of stopped Matty in his tracks.
Yeah, Xavier's starting to hit on his timing here. His punches are starting to land. He's starting to see the punches before they leave the pocket, or before they leave the chamber from Matt Costello.
The Wolf, Bruce Xavier, having a good showing so far.
Costello starting to land those leg kicks. You see that left leg light up of Bruce Xavier if that keeps happening.
Oh, man, that was a nice feint jab to a right hand. He's got a locked-in ghillie. Matt needs to spin like yesterday. He cannot. That was a good transition from Xavier.
Man, beautiful. That choke is in.
That's fully locked.
This might be it. Bruce Xavier applying
go
pressure.
Out or tap. I mean, it's already locked.
Man, punches raining from the top there for Matty Ice. He is nearing that point of no return, and that is it. Bruce Xavier gets the tap on Matty Ice, Matt Costello. What a showing by Bruce Xavier.
Wow. Man, wow. I had a fun fact. If you guys notice the right shoulder of Xavier, that's from a shoulder separation. And that is when and bear with me, boys, the acromicroclavicular, I messed that one up bad. Yeah, well, no, the ligament that attaches the clavicle to the shoulder tears entirely. And that's why you have that big separation. But you can rehab through it, as Xavier did, and then use it to put guys to sleep if they're in a good choke. I mean, that was awesome.
Let's take a look at our highlights. Man, that was a fun brawl to get the fight started. There's some good exchanges for both guys. But then, as you mentioned, Michael, the timing of Bruce Xavier really found the groove, and that was what it took to really open things up.
That was the punch that started it all. Hits this front headlock, snaps him down, takes his back. It's right here. I mean, it's fully figure forward and behind the head. I'm surprised Matt thought for as long as he did. Tries to hand fight, throws some punches. I think maybe that was a tap attempt. He was just already out. Like, he's already out. You can see his labor breathing. You see the weird kind of hand placement. Good stop there from JJ. That's a clean victory. I'll tell you, I practiced saying that ligament's name a few times. I butchered it so bad.
So he separated it during camp, or just
so I'm sure
previously?
This was an old injury.
Okay,
You'll see a lot of guys with that big separation. That comes from a shoulder separation way back in the day.
All right, let's make things official. Here's Wade.
Ladies and gentlemen, the end comes 2 minutes, 57 seconds into the very first round, declaring a winner by submission due to a rear naked choke, Bruce the Wolf Xavier.
I'm here with your winner, Bruce Xavier. Bruce, when we saw this matchup, we kind of thought it was going to be the striker versus grappler matchup, but you went in there and banged with the scrapper right off the bat.
Yeah, I'm here to bang, become the champion of Fury one day. I'm a grappler, but I'm also a striker. You know, I'm a pretty good striker. I train at a really good gym at the MMA lab. I have really good training partners and everything. Jared, Eric, Alec, you know, and everybody out there. You know what I mean? I love what I do.
Well, Matt Costello has fought all the way from heavyweight, came down to light heavyweight, and now at middleweight, and he's been known as a very durable guy, and you were able to get him out of there pretty quick.
Whoa, he's amazing, man. You know, I told him, keep going. You know, I've been there, you know, like with my head and everything, but you got to keep going. Got to be becoming better, you know, and get better and believe in God. You know what I mean? God knows everything. He knows my road. You know what I mean? And I'm here to become a champion one day.
Well, Bruce, we look forward to seeing you again. It was very impressive today. Your winner, Bruce Xavier.
Congratulations to Bruce Xavier. Moves that record to 2-2 now. Always love getting back to even, and hopefully he finds a groove. We'll see him here again at some point in the future. Let's meet our next fighter.
Please welcome Charles Clark to the blue corner.
Charles Clark, second time here inside the Fury FC cage. Looking for that coveted first win as a professional. All his losses are by submission, so definitely something to improve on.
Yeah, and it's not like there's a position where the people have gotten him in that he, the 3 submissions he's lost, he's been choked by a guillotine, rear naked choke, and a triangle. So it's I'm sure that he's been working a lot on his ground game, especially his ground defense, because he considers himself a pretty good striker, Alex.
Yeah, well, he needs to work on his ground defense for this fight. He's got a good grappler, a great grappler, and a man built like a ton of steel. He's going to be fighting. He was actually supposed to fight Charles Clark in Fury a few months back, but day of the fight grew ill, oddly enough, against one of his opponent's teammates. Oh. So, I mean, it's kind of cool that he was willing to run it back. Not the same opponent, but from the same team, so it shows, he was in it, and just wasn't able to make it on fight night. Sometimes that happens. We see Becca making her debut later tonight, and her debut was supposed to happen in Rosenberg when you and I called the show Reheal, and her opponent was sick the same day as well. So, that does happen. It's cool to see Charles Clark here in the cage now, 40 years young.
Yeah, Charles also the host, one of the hosts for the Two Dudes and a Cage podcast. He's a software engineer for Space Force, which is kind of cool. And, he's here ready to go. We'll hopefully use some of this money to buy a house. He's about to buy a house, so love seeing that.
Yeah, Charles Clark is a smart guy, obviously. He's an engineer, so, him getting in here, this is a proving ground for Charles Clark to himself, and that's it. Yeah. I mean, he's 40 years old. He's coming in here fighting, a very, very tough guy. And, bravo to Charles Clark for getting in here.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Charles is inside the cage. Let's meet his opponent. Here's Wayne.
Please welcome Felipe Rocha to the red corner.
Felipe Rocha making this highly anticipated debut. The Fury Amateur Series Light Heavyweight Champion coming in at 185. So this will be fun to watch. He has fought at 185 before as an amateur. And that was against Zach Borrego.
Yeah.
So has a lot of experience, and everyone's been talking about this debut.
Yeah, Felipe Rocha, a high-level black belt in jiu-jitsu, but not just that. I mean, this is a strong, this is an animal of a man, Alex. I mean, he was 4-0 as an amateur. He was our light heavyweight champion. And this is one of those guys that, Alex, if we see an active, extremely active Felipe Rocha this year, he's making his pro debut, but if we see an extremely active Felipe Rocha, man, there's no telling what can happen in the next 18 months for this guy.
Yeah, absolutely. I was very grateful. He and Nico and a few other guys came across with me about 2 months ago, and I finally got to do not only some gi and no-gi work with Felipe, but we did some MMA rounds. And man, the guy, they call him a rhino. He really is a rhino. Like you pat him on the shoulder, the dude feels like a chunk of stone. And yeah, I was very happy to hear he was making his pro debut. He has recently had a young child. Within the last 2 years, he opened up his own gym. So I mean, he's a very, very busy man. Definitely burning the candle at both ends. It's cool to see him here in the cage.
Yeah, love it. Our Tail of the Tape brought to you by Sheath Underwear, even on the height. 1-inch reach advantage for Felipe. And you see both fighters did make weight for this middleweight showdown. And we will be talking throughout the night, not only on our prelims, but on our main card, about people busting weight. We'll talk about that throughout. There was a big outage that happened, the CrowdStrike outage that halted so many flights. And that impacted this weekend as so many fighters are flying in. But that's a story we'll tell throughout the night, but I wanted to point that out. Both fighters are inside. Let's get our introductions.
The following contest, brought to you by SheathUnderwear.com, is scheduled for 3 rounds in the Fury FC middleweight division. Introducing your first competitor, fighting out of the blue corner. This mixed martial artist stands 5 feet 11 inches tall, and he weighed in at 186.2 pounds. Fighting out of Colorado Springs, Colorado. Today, he looks for his first win as a pro. Here is Charles Blood Money Clark. And introducing his opponent across the cage, fighting out of the red corner. This freestyle fighter stands 5 feet 11 inches tall, and he weighed in officially at 185.6 pounds. Fighting out of Houston, Texas, by way of Minas Gerais, Brazil. Today, he makes his professional debut. Here is Felipe, the Rhino Rocha. Your referee in charge of the action, Professor Joe Solis.
How about Wayne just absolutely nailing the hometown in one take? That was good stuff, Wayne.
That's why he's a Hall of Famer.
Yep.
Yeah, we got this card 2 weeks ago. Wayne's been practicing that name since.
Charles Clark, blue gloves, Felipe in the red.
Felipe's got a deep underhook on that right side. And notice he's staying patient. He's not, going for takedowns out of position. Pummeling his underhooks, looking at some strikes. Very well-timed trip.
Beautiful. He's so strong. Did you feel that strength when you were training against him, Alex, when you were doing rounds?
Yeah, and it was so much fun. It was such a fun challenge. It was just big shots.
Punches.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, as high level as he is on the ground, he is also very heavy-handed.
Yeah.
Those downward punches in this ground and pound position are going to do some damage here.
These are big punches. He's got a nice little wrist ride there, too. He's hanging all of his weight, trapping that leg.
Taking his time is Rocha.
Felipe Rocha just exchanged pleasantries with Raheel as he was punching Charles Clark.
Man, these are good shots.
Yeah, these are not only getting through, but causing some damage.
Yeah, they're not going to let him take a lot of these shots. He's got to get up and defend himself.
Nice trip. So this is where Felipe kind of rotate Clark to the right side and just really pin him on the cage. Nice, big shots. And it's cool to see the grappler, you know, try to just go for so much damage and he hasn't really looked for a submission at all.
Oh man, these punches are connecting. Professor Joe Solis looking on.
So one thing Clark can do is spin hard to his left side. Now he'll certainly give up back exposure. He's kind of caught in half guard. But you can relieve the wrist ride, but you got to give up your back to do it. But I'll tell you, almost anything is better than this right now.
Yeah, there's not many worse positions to be in than this.
Felipe can fight at this pace all day. He's really not using a lot of energy because there's not a lot of scrambling to be done.
Not only that, as you mentioned, he does expose that back, and you've got Felipe on your back. That is as worse of a predicament.
Man, I'd rather fend off rear naked choke than these monstrous wrist-ridden ground and pound strikes.
Yeah, and I do think he would do himself well to put that butterfly hook in and at least try to elevate the hips just to get some weight on his arms so that he's not throwing punches.
I mean, notice, goes belly down, gets rid of the wrist ride, but now it's fending off a head and arm choke that's getting tighter as we're watching.
Oh, man, that might be enough. You see Charles just wincing with pain, trying to find some sort of breath. Are we near the end? And there's the tap.
Head and arm choke right in front of us, too. That was a cool angle.
Perfect work there by Felipe Rocha. Gets that debut win. What a submission.
And Alex, that's how you know that you're a high-level grappler. Is you don't have to be in the correct position. It doesn't have to be perfect. You know where to put the pressure, and you know how to finish those chokes.
I was about to mention how, like, his choking on elbow, it's usually best when he goes to that, but I saw how much of a clamp he had with that downward shoulder pressure. I'm pretty sure the line on this fight would have been a first-round submission by Rocha to win this.
Let's take a look at our highlights.
Debut, yeah. Nice trip. I mean, was patient, had that right underhook, pummeled the left side. Huge ground and pound shots.
And just connecting over and over again. And the one thing about Felipe, man, his expression never changes. He is a robot inside.
Yeah. Mint business. Notice he was kind of tripoded up on the knee, the foot, and the shoulder there.
There's a smile. He's inside now, celebrating a little bit. All business. Hope to see Felipe back in relatively soon. Let's make things official. Here's Wayne.
Ladies and gentlemen, Professor Joe Solis calls for a stop to the fight. 3 minutes, 7 seconds into the very first round, declaring your winner by tap out due to an arm triangle, Felipe the Rhino Rocha.
I'm here with your winner, Felipe Rocha. Felipe, a dominant performance in your pro debut. How does that feel?
It feels great to be able to show what we've been working on for the past year since I fought, right? We've had a tough time getting a fight, but that doesn't mean at any moment that I stop training, you know? I like to always I even tell my students, a lot of them are here. Where are my students at? Where you guys at? I got a lot of my students here, and I try to lead by example as far as we just always stay ready, you know? You never know when the opportunity is going to come calling, and when it does knock, we're ready to go.
Well, Felipe, this is a first-round finish. You took very little to no damage. Does that mean we can expect to see you in here very quickly next time you fight?
100%. With, you know, having these guys here with me at all times, both Coach Nico and Coach Drew, I think I could take on John Jones tomorrow, you know. But yeah, and I'm just excited, man, you know, because I think my wife is sitting over there. We're having another baby soon. I finally got my little boy now, and my baby daughter's here as well, you know. So I'm excited down the line to be able to show them like how cool their dad was, you know.
Well, Felipe, we look forward to seeing you again. I think you're going to be a force to be reckoned with in this middleweight division. Congratulations on the win. Your winner, Felipe Rocha.
Nice. Love hearing that good news. Another kid on the way for the Rochas. Get all that training in now before that sleep schedule is all jacked up. Let's keep things moving. We'll get to our third fight on the prelims card. Let's meet our next fighter.
We're going to take a brief 2-minute intermission. We'll be right back.
All right, so we will take a quick break for the fights. I think we can, let's keep it here. Let's talk about what's coming up here on a beautiful Sunday in the city of Houston for Fury FC 94. We still have 4 more fights coming your way, including the highly anticipated debut of Becca Irwin. Miles Banks is going to be in action. Potential fight of the night, David Armas against Michael Murphy. And the next fight coming up, Emerson Guerrero against Iyean Varela. That is our prelims rundown. But gentlemen, let's talk about our main card coming up on UFC Fight Pass at 4:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Make sure you subscribe to UFC Fight Pass if you haven't already. They've been running specials on every single card so far, so make sure you take full advantage of that. But Adam Vigil, Unbreakable, taking on Tayde. That fight, Adam Vigil is eligible to win the 185 title. Tayde, unfortunately, is not miss weight. He was part of the group of fighters. Some of them couldn't even make it here to the city of Houston because of that big internet outage that we had on Friday morning. So Tayde could not make weight, but Adam Vigil gets a chance to win that title, Michael.
Yeah, Adam Vigil has shown over and over. We've seen him go through adversity inside the cage. We've seen him be cut. He is one of the, for as much muscle as he carries, we've talked about this before, Alex, but as much muscle as he carries, first of all, we don't see how he makes 185, but he has no problem doing it ever. And then once he gets in there, he is a cardio machine. He never stops moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, you guys will see him. If you've not seen him fight before, the dude is built like a mountain and, has notoriously good conditioning, especially later in the fight. So, I mean, there's a chance this fight could go to the championship 4th and 5th rounds. It's a lot of fight time. I don't think it will, but it could. And yeah, we got a really fun main card.
Yeah, we look at our rest of the card. Jordan Fluten back in action, taking on Mauricio Gomez to open up the card. Lesser Batres Jr. Get ready, guys.
Wow.
He could be next up.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually fought his dad.
Yeah.
Way back in the day, like almost 15 years ago. It's so cool to see his young son now undefeated as a pro. I mean, yeah. We also have some really fun fights. Cameron Smotherman, always fun to watch. In my opinion, he's got the most prolific Fury title fight victory when he hit that switch stance, straight left knockout for the bantamweight title before his Contender Series run. So he's always super fun to watch. I mean, we got some excellent fights.
Yeah, against Peter Caballero, that was an incredible moment. Mia Graw is in action as well, looking for her second win after getting a nice win in her debut. She's taking on Omar Israeli. So all that is coming up at 4:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on UFC Fight Pass. Make sure you subscribe, and we're going to just keep it here. We'll just talk and hang out and get you all caught up on anything else that's going on. By the way, August 2nd, we are in Dallas for some Friday night fights for Fury FC 95. Michael, you don't have to drive that far for once. You live out in Fort Worth, by the way, for people who are listening or watching.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I always love the Dallas shows because not only, is it close to my home, which don't get me wrong, I don't mind coming to Houston and visiting you guys. I always get some rounds in with Alex, but man, when they're at home, and the Dallas cards are notoriously just fun, great cards. I mean, they always have great fights, always have great matchups. And a lot of that is because of Alex, a gym you know very well over there at Fortis. They put a lot of those guys on that Dallas card. You never know who you're going to see. And the Dallas card is usually full of the next round of superstars. And that's why I love it so much.
Yeah, there's a great martial arts scene up in Dallas. And Mike, I'm actually excited for this Friday night, card. I get to stay there overnight, do some training on Saturday. Yeah. And that's always, I'm sure it's at Gillies.
Yeah.
That place is notoriously fun to have fights at. That'll be cool. I'll tell you, our next fight up tonight, though, well, I suppose a fight coming up soon, David Armas versus Michael Murphy. For those who don't know, David Armas fought on Eric Garcia's first amateur show ever. That's how long he's been in the scene for. So this is his almost, 30th pro fight? And I remember, I think on his second or third fight, he fought one of my guys, Jared Chafee, for a different promotion way back in the day. Armas has been in the mix forever. And then Michael Murphy, coming up on his 20th fight, but he's like a little more new school. He's new-ish to the scene, maybe in like the last 6 or 7 years, whereas Armas is like really an OG. I didn't think we'd see him fight again. I remember I was talking to Murphy maybe 3 months back, and he was like, yeah, I got booked, and I was like, it's 2. He's like, some Houston vet. And I was like, who? And he finally told me, I was like, dude, you're fighting David Armas. That's an awesome fight, because Armas has notoriously been a good striker, so guys always try to out-wrestle him. And we finally get a matchup where they're both just going to stand and bang. I mean, so that's going to be an awesome fight. I cannot wait for that one. I think that's got like prelim fight of the night written all over it.
Absolutely. I was listening to the Fury Unleashed podcast as I was driving, and they were talking about that fight, and we're kind of putting bets on who's going to be the first person to shoot in that fight. And I don't think there will be a shot in that fight. It's going to be all punches, all standing up the entire time.
Yeah, man, unless somebody gets rocked and dropped and they try to follow up. But, yeah, that's going to be a fun one. And then Miles Banks, I was actually surprised to see he and his opponent, who's 1-0, fighting on the undercard. Yeah. His opponent, Mike, you were telling me yesterday, very good grappler. Miles Banks is a solid purple belt, but, he's won all of his fights with knockouts, every single one of them. And I'll tell you, I didn't really know Omar very well after seeing the weigh-ins pictures. Miles is a good amount bigger than him, too.
Yeah, he lists himself at 6'4", and, Miles lists himself at 6'7" or 6'8", and it looks like a significantly higher difference than that in height. But, Omar thinks that he can wrestle Miles to the ground. He thinks he can take him out on the ground. And, we haven't seen a really tested Miles Banks, because a man that large, no matter what kind of heavyweight you are, is very, very tough to get down.
Yeah, absolutely. And then in our effectively, prelim main event, we have Becca Irwin's long-awaited debut. So maybe back in 2015, I had trained at a Muay Thai gym where she trained at, where she was doing her amateur Muay Thai, and then went pro in Muay Thai and did excellent as a young professional. And then I heard she was going to do MMA, and then like 3 years had passed, and they had waited, and I think they were just building a skill set to make sure she wasn't, too one-dimensional with her striking. Because pretty much everyone who fights her knows she's going to have world-class striking, so how do you beat that? You got to try to take them down. And I think she's going to be very, very prepared for that. I know she's been training a lot at Main Street with her grappling.
Yeah, Becca Irwin, 23 years old, has so much experience in the kickboxing world, that Muay Thai world, so finally we get a chance to see her, Michael.
Yeah, absolutely. And, anytime that, it's one thing to go in there, and you don't have to be, it's been proven over and over, you don't have to be great on the ground if you can defend those takedowns. If you can stay in your strong spot, if you can, you don't have to be great on the ground. It helps, and she'll continue to improve as she gets older and older and more experience in there. But until somebody actually gets her to her back on the mat, I mean, in those striking exchanges, she's going to have an advantage on just about any woman she steps in here with at any level.
Yeah, and she's got a strong build for the weight class. She's pretty tall. I doubt she'll fight somebody taller than her. Tall and lean, can really control the range. That's a long-awaited debut.
All right, Wayne is heading back inside, so we'll get things back going here. There's Wayne right on camera, just walking behind us.
Allegedly he's back, going back in there.
He's walking in there. We're trying to take a little break. Wayne is inside. Let's meet his next opponent. I always wanted to say that about Wayne. All right, let's meet our next fighter.
Welcome back. Please welcome Iyean Varela to the blue corner.
Iyean Varela, first time in Fury as a pro, has fought twice for Fury as an amateur. Last time out in his debut as a professional, got the tap of Alex Diaz in March, Michael.
Yeah, won his pro debut by submission. Lost his last amateur fight to Sebastian Urivides by submission. But as we know, Sebastian is a very high-level grappler. But this kid was a college wrestler and is now an elementary school teacher. Kind of surprised me with the two-tone hair, but he's elementary school.
Yeah. It's summer right now.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
You can definitely do it in the summer.
Yeah,
right?
He's off. Who cares what color the hair is? But yeah, elementary teacher, and Man, I can relate to this guy so much. Said he got into fighting because girls kept breaking his heart. I'm with you. I mean,
there's always an origin story for every fighter, right?
That's right.
That's one aspect of fight encouragement I've never felt before, so count myself lucky. Yeah, I remember when he was actually Oriavides' debut opponent, and he was super critical, and I was like, who is this youngster? Turns out that submission loss to Oriavides has aged incredibly well.
Yes.
Oriavides has done it quicker to every single one of his other opponents. He's defending his belt again here in September. So, I mean, no knock on that loss. Looking forward to seeing Varela back in the cage.
All right, Iyean is inside. Let's meet his opponent.
Please welcome Emerson Guerrero to the red corner.
Things are about to get buck wild because Emerson Guerrero is heading inside, the Gladiator. And that is the perfect name for him. This dude is going to go in and just brawl and put on a fight. Record began.
Yeah, Emerson Guerrero, he comes in here to bang. And, you know, this guy is used to being in hostile territories because he is the manager at a gentleman's club. So I'm sure he has a lot to deal with in that position.
Yeah, and speaking of, you know, we're talking about David Armas, old MMA veteran, Emerson Guerrero, he was on the very early Fury Pro cards. He actually fought one of my guys, Eric Hinden, way back in the day. I mean, I remember Emerson came back and busted Justin Longoria. That's not an easy fight for anyone, but it's cool to see him back in here again. Granted, his opponent is not much of an easier task here in the undefeated Varela, but still, Emerson, he will stand and strike. He will throw down super hard. He'll throw really cool spin kicks. I mean, he's a very fun guy to watch.
We look at our tail of the tape, brought to you by Live Oak Texas Vodka. The reach advantage, height advantage for the 27-year-old Iyean Varela. Emerson in that last fight against Bustin' Justin went to the third round. You know, went as far as he could and was defeated eventually, but he will extend that fight out, and let's see what his game plan is. But first, we get our introductions.
The following contest, brought to you by Live Oak Texas Vodka, is scheduled for 3 rounds in the Fury FC Bantamweight division. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner. This mixed martial artist stands 5 feet 7 inches tall, and he weighed in at 135.2 pounds. Fighting out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, he holds a professional record of 1 win, no losses. Here is Iyean, Problem Child Varela. And introducing his opponent across the cage, fighting out of the red corner. This freestyle fighter stands 5 feet 5 inches tall, and he weighed in officially at 138.4 pounds. Fighting out of Houston, Texas, by way of Managua, Nicaragua, today he looks for his 3rd win as a pro. Here is Emerson, the Gladiator Guerrero. Your referee in charge, Ryan Thompson.
All right, Ryan Thompson inside. Both fighters are ready for this one. Iyean in the blue gloves. Emerson Guerrero, red gloves. Let's get this one going.
I would imagine Iyean's going to use his wrestling in this fight. Most guys are, you know, down to scrap and throw. When they fight a strike and get hit clean, then why leave it in their wheelhouse any longer? But we'll see. Hammer fist to the quad.
Yeah, we should mention also that Emerson Guerrero, you said, you know, we talked about him fighting Justin Longoria in the walkout. His fight before that was in 2019 against CJ Vergara. And that was a rematch because they went to a majority draw back in 2016. That just shows you how long Emerson Guerrero's been around.
Both guys having a little fun inside.
Emerson was a little more apprehensive to throw because he was worried about the takedown.
Good little butterfly position here while both fighters are dry. It's very difficult to keep those hooks.
Nice double overhook butterfly guard sweep. That was great. And that's what I mean. Emerson's got some awesome tricks. In his last fight against Justin, he threw and landed a good wheel kick. I mean, very competitive fight. But the pace was just crazy, and just Longoria's a beast. Oh, man. That was deep. Good reaction there from Varela. That was a good armbar.
Man, beautiful timing there for Emerson on both.
So as awesome as that armbar attempt was, like usually when I tell my guys if you get to mount, don't go for those unless there's maybe 30 seconds left. Because it's just not worth losing the dominant position.
Yeah, and Emerson jumped a little long on it. He was a little far down the arm, making it a little bit easier for Varela. And I thought he recovered. It looked like Varela was in some trouble there for a second. But Varela able to get that arm, the angle back, and now he's on top.
Guerrero went for the armbar, but he had one of like the feet under the back, you know, like where your shin kind of blades on the ribs. And that's a potentially good finishing position, but you just don't have the control of the body. And Varela had to eat the armbar for just a second, but was able to get on top, and he's now in top closed guard, fending off a Kimura. And he's got it fully locked, but he's in that bottom half guard position. Rolls him with it.
Yeah, beautiful.
He's got a straight armbar, but now he's in a front headlock. He's losing this grip battle right now.
Oh, man, that's a tight guillotine.
That's tight. Is that going to be no?
Oh,
man.
Oh, wow.
Panic tap. I mean, panic choked him. I mean, that was deep as could be.
Yeah, he was about to go out.
Man, I didn't think the tap was coming right there. I want to see that replay.
Wow. That was a really cool fight of quick submission exchanges.
Did not see that one going the way it did, but man, what a huge win there for Iyean Varela. Moves that record to 2-0.
Yeah, I'd love to see the highlight there. In the scramble, caught the guillotine.
Yeah, nice takedown here by Varela. Here's that double overhook hook flip.
That was cool.
Yeah, very nice. You see he was very, a little bit far down the arm. He's a little bit, gave up the angle just a hair. Could have left one of those legs behind the head or something, Alex, like with the, on the bend of the foot. But that was a very tight guillotine.
Yeah. Man, I was crazy. That Kimura he went for ended up being the reason he got caught in this front headlock. Looks like the guys are squashing some beef, which is nice. Both corners, all commissioners are in close just to make sure everything's cool.
Yeah, right after the fight, Iyean was barking at Emerson Guerrero. I don't know if something happened at weigh-ins. I didn't see anything yesterday. I don't know if there was just trash talking going on before, online somewhere. Nonetheless, let's make things official. Here's weigh-in.
Ladies and gentlemen, the end comes 2 minutes, 43 seconds into the very first round. Declaring your winner by tap out due to a guillotine, Iyean Problem Child Varela.
I'm here with your winner, Iyean Varela. Iyean, it was a beautiful takedown. Were you kind of surprised about the hook flip that happened? You ended up on bottom, but you were able to reverse it.
That shit happens to me all the time. I'm used to this shit. I fucking train with Ray Borg. He's a fucking flyweight motherfucker. I'm fucking heartbroken. Time out. The only reason I got into this sport was because these fucking stupid girls want to keep fucking breaking my fucking heart. And my grandma fucking died. So yeah, I'm a little heated. So fuck off.
Well, it was very impressive, man. Iyean, and we look forward to seeing you again. Your winner, Iyean Varela.
It's a bold strategy to win fans. We'll see if it plays out here, Raheel.
That was interesting. Oh, man. That was the quickest post-fight interview that Mike has ever done. That was interesting.
Honestly, Mike, I think the shorter the better for you in that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No follow-ups, huh?
No questions after that.
Oh, I would have poked there a little bit.
And he hit himself with a timeout.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not too sure what happened there, but we did get it finished. That was cool.
That was interesting.
Well, whoever broke his heart, I don't want to meet her.
For real. Good luck following that up, Wayne. Here you go.
Please welcome David Armas to the blue corner.
Oh, man, I am cramping laughing right now. All right, well, let's get this going, man. David Armas, 9-19. As you mentioned, nearing that 30-fight mark for this crafty veteran fighting for Fury FC for the 10th time. Is riding a 3-fight losing streak, really hunting to get things going again. And maybe this is his last time out. Maybe it's not. We're not sure, but here he is, Michael.
Yeah, I mean, you know, this guy's been fighting so long. In his debut, he lost to Jeremy Mahon. And so and that tells you how long ago this guy's been around. And Alex, you talked about it a lot. I mean, he's been around the game forever. Right now, what he's concentrating on is he trains the #1 65-pound kid in the world, Leandro Delgado, in boxing. And so this kid's won nationals. He's won a bunch of events. And I think David is really high on this kid and spending a lot of time in the gym making sure this kid gets his due.
Yeah, I remember seeing a lot of his fights live way back in like the golden age of Houston MMA. And when he fought my guy, I did a lot of tape study. And he would either lose by decision or win by knockout. For some time, that was the only outcome. Things have changed since then naturally, as you know, he's upwards of 30 fights. But I mean, that just goes to show, you know, the kind of danger that he possesses. It was actually a lot of knees, a lot of clinch knees and jump knees that got him some KOs. But, you know, most guys didn't want to stand in boxing, so they would use the wrestling game plan. He was notoriously hard to submit. But yeah, it's interesting to see him, you know, stepping back in the cage yet again.
Patrick Hutton, Alex Black, Charles Cheek. He's fought all those guys in addition to the OGD, Jeremy Mahone.
Yeah, what's funny is Patrick Hutton actually trained with us for that fight, so I cornered, you know, against him once again, but interesting.
All right, let's meet his opponent.
Please welcome to the red corner, Michael Murphy.
Murph Dog making that walk once more. 10th time for Fury. Trying to snap that losing streak. Last time out, got tapped by Shane Keefe. Took that fight on short notice. But that was one of those moments, man. Michael rarely gets finished. He's such a dog in there. But I'm glad he's back for one more or potentially a few more.
Yeah, there's no lack of love in this booth for Michael Murphy. I mean, we love the way he fights. We love calling his fights. You know, we've said it over and over. He does damage from the strangest spots. You can have his back. He can still cut you open with those punches. It's just the craziest fights always when Michael Murphy's involved.
Yeah, and he's, you know, he's always in work, and he's got a great body type. I've actually used him for 2 of my specific fight camps, where I actually hired him to give me specific looks and rounds. It's funny, you're talking about Jeremy Mahon being Armas' pro debut. He's in Michael Murphy's corner right now.
Yeah.
Murphy's a great guy. You know, he'll give you the shirt off his back. You know, he and I always have such great rounds together. Always working hard, always learning, always helping. Big fan of both of these guys in the cage right now.
Let's take a look at our tail to tape, brought to you by Howler Head Whiskey. Height advantage, reach advantage for the 36-year-old Michael Murphy. This fight is a 160-pound catchweight bout. Both fighters are inside. Let's get our official introductions.
The following contest, brought to you by Howler Head Whiskey, is scheduled for 3 rounds at a Fury FC catch weight of 160 pounds. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner. This freestyle fighter stands 5 feet 10 inches tall, and he weighed in at 166 pounds. Fighting out of Houston, Texas, today he seeks his 11th win as a pro. Here is David Armas. And introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. This mixed martial artist is 6 feet tall, and he too weighed in at 166 pounds. Fighting out of Houston by way of Longview, Texas, today he looks for his 9th professional win. Here is Michael Murder Murphy. Your referee in charge, JJ Ferraro.
Blue gloves for Armas, red for Michael Murphy. Michael Murphy said, you're going to see the old Michael Murphy in there. No more games. Just plans to go out and fight.
Oh, nice right hand. Murphy has 2 wins as a pro by knockout in 8 seconds. He's got the death touch. Man, good low kicks. I'll tell you, one of the biggest things I felt in Murphy's game advancing was his kicking game. His calf kicks are really good. His low kicks are really good. But it's just he might kind of throwing freely because he doesn't have to hyper focus on stuffing takedowns. Return low kick there from Armas, and again.
Oh, big knee.
Oh man,
this is what we expected. Neither guy's going to back down.
Man, it looked like a fight from the old Pride days.
yeah. A hockey fight.
Yeah, just grab each other's neck and start punching each other. Murphy got to be careful here. I think he could feel that it wasn't there.
Yeah.
And it looked to here like it was pretty deep, but he did not have his hands connected.
Well, and as Micheal mentioned, we don't see Murph get put away often at all. That last triangle choke was a bit of an anomaly, and that was a weight class higher on short notice against an undefeated prospect at the time. You know, we've seen Murph wrestle well. We've seen him get out of some of the craziest rear naked chokes, ever.
It was the first finish of Michael Murphy in 2 years.
Oh, wow. And he was super active. There were times he'd have 6 or 7 fights in a year. So, fought a few guys who made it to the UFC, Micheal Medeiros being one of them.
Yeah, Michael Murphy has kind of fought the who's who of this division. Kareem Abdul El Sawadi.
Another one.
He's fought Micheal Medeiros. He's fought just about everybody in this division, especially the guys at the top. The guys at the top of the division and the guys who went on to fight in the UFC. He's fought them all.
That's a good arm bar. Mike did a good job kind of punching his way out of it.
Yeah, nothing like loosening up a grip with those heavy hands. Just punching your ribs. Murph's corner calling for him to get to his feet.
In a deep triangle. If Armas can figure for his legs, he's trying. You see that right hand on the outside of the foot. This is going to be dangerous. I know Murph's coaches were calling for him to stand all the way up prior to this being locked up. It's not quite figure forward. This is the time to escape. I was going to say Murphy could not spend any extra time there. But he seems to have a really good feel for the threat level of submissions. Nice little pass and punch. Armas gets back to his feet. So that was a good strategic kind of takedown and top time there for Murph. Take some of the wind out of Armas' sails.
Oh.
Man, Michael Murphy turning this into a dog fight here.
And it's funny, I know Murph, is certainly a striker, but I train with the guys where they do so much drilling and wrestling, that he just becomes reactionary at this point. Got his hands together, we're going to see him lift them. Almost his hands weren't together, there's no real threat of a guillotine there. And I think this is a lot of those higher level matchups that Murphy took, kind of playing into his favor, allowing him to be well-rounded, tactically make sure he can win these rounds. But I'll tell you, I think he was winning the striking exchanges pretty thoroughly as well.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think he was winning those striking exchanges, and I think he was 1 or 2 punches away from, this being a very, very bad news for David Armas. It looked like in those exchanges, he was hitting him pretty regularly.
Man, first time of the night. We're going to round 2. Let's take a look at our highlights for round 1.
There's that little collar tie punch exchange.
Yeah. There's that first takedown. Murphy just sweeping pulling the legs out from underneath David Armas. Continuing some ground and pound. There's a second takedown. It looked like Murphy was trying to kind of push him to the side. He wanted to pass the guard. David Armas doing a good job of staying square to him, recovering guard immediately. Good round. I think it was definitely a Michael Murphy round. I think he won that pretty handily. I think it was a 10-9 round, but I think that's a Michael Murphy round. David Armas got to come out and get something going here in the second round.
That was Armas' first MMA round since 2021. And he survived it after that long break. Alex Armas is such an OG of the Houston MMA scene. He has that Jesus didn't tap tattoo on the back.
Oh, nice jab there from Murph.
We saw in the first round, Michael Murphy is throwing these punches with a little extra pepper on them tonight.
A nice 32. Really need a good flurry there. We see the face of Armas getting marked up just a bit. Nice right hook there from Murph. Armas has not really had an ability to find his offense. He's had some good low kicks. He exchanged a bit in the clinch, but the ranged boxing of Murph is giving him some trouble. I remember in Armas's kind of fighting prime, he was a 145er, whereas Murph a 55er. Nice combo to a high kick. Oh, nice high kick. Armas shakes it off.
Armas taking some damage here and coming back with a shot of his own. Ooh. Big body shot there from Michael Murphy.
We're nearing the end here. Michael Murphy said you're going to see the old Murphy. Gets tied up here right now. All that momentum was in Michael Murphy's favor. To the ground we go.
Yeah, I mean, as effective as the wrestling and top control time has been for Murph, I think he's actually had more success on the feet. But, you know, it's easy to, you know, say that outside of the cage. When you're inside the cage, you know you have scenarios where you're not going to take any damage. You're going to kind of guarantee yourself, you know, winning time. I can understand when you know you have the grappling advantage to use it.
Nearing the halfway mark of round 2.
It's funny, Michael, in jiu-jitsu, like if you're ever playing bottom half guard and you open your legs, that's like a guaranteed pass. But in MMA, I think Murphy's content to just sit in top half, kind of scoop the hips away and beat him up.
Yeah, I mean, if you know, when you pass, this position is the best ground and pound position that, you know, you can be in just about in MMA, other than maybe the mount, but this top side half guard, this is where you want to stay, especially up against a cage. You get their you know, top shoulder up against that cage, you get them trapped. They're just facing you. It's really difficult for them to defend those punches, and it doesn't take a lot of pepper to come, you know, to come hard with those punches when that your opponent's in that position. So, and you're in very, very little danger of anything happening to you from the bottom side whenever you're in half guard.
All right, 130 to work with on the feet. It's been all Michael Murphy.
Oh, that was right on the chin. Armas's chin still holding up after all these fights and years. He's eating some clean right hands, a clean head kick.
Yeah, Armas is throwing well too. I mean, he's landing. He just hasn't landed anything super square. Murphy's done a good job of, keeping his head moving, keeping the movement enough to where, and just kind of overwhelming David Armas with enough that just none of those punches. Armas is throwing hard. They're just not landing square.
Albeit probably not like in the game plan of Murph, but this is smart. This really is smart to do. On the feet, anyone can land a big shot.
Yeah.
At any point, even if they're hurt, tired, whatever. Whereas on the ground, the odds of, getting caught with something kind of crazy is very, very low chance.
Yeah, especially from this position. I mean, this is about as safe as a top position, but it's also dangerous. I mean, this is a dangerous position for Armas to have Michael Murphy in. I mean, this is, we talk about it a lot. This is a great ground and pound position. As we end the second round here, looks like we're going to a third round.
This is a fight that when we were talking before, I think we all had it going the distance just because how tough these guys are.
Both of them, yeah.
And it's lived up to the hype. On one side, Michael Murphy has been outstanding.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he's dominated the striking game. He's dominated the ground game. He's taken Armas down kind of at will. And, Armas has done a good job of, kind of minimizing the damage, but he's just in such terrible positions. You got to think that luck is going to run out after a while. I mean, they've got one more round. I mean, if the round goes this way, it's easily Michael Murphy's up 2 rounds to none.
Yeah.
David's corner has to be telling him that he's down 2 rounds. He needs a finish here. I do expect some fireworks coming out of here in the third round, but Michael Murphy just needs to stay calm, maybe get this fight back to the ground, do some more damage on the ground, and I think he's cruises to a win here. Unless he catches him with something, Michael Murphy's still looking very fresh.
Yeah, Murphy can fight at this pace all day long. I mean, he's been the distance so many times here in the Fury cage in the last 2 years alone. Whereas this is, an unfamiliar feeling here for Armas. He's not fought in years. If I'm not mistaken, his last fight against Hutton ended in the second round. So he's not been the distance for some time. But back in the day, Armas had gone the distance many times. Man, this guy's just slugging it out.
Oh, man, these are connecting big time for Murph. But Armas is not backing down at all. Returns with a kick.
Oh, big left hook. Big takedown. I mean, the bottom half guillotine, you can maybe get a butterfly hook and try to reload to a front headlock, but usually a challenging grip to do anything with, at least the position.
Yeah, and typically whenever you see, as in here, Murphy, the taller of the two fighters, was also taller in posture in that. If you see the elbow go above the height of the shoulder, that arm is extremely weak. It's going to be extremely difficult to finish that choke from there.
I know after Murphy's last MMA fight and before this fight, he was actually, in contract negotiation phases with bare knuckle. It ended up not working out, but I mean, it just goes to show he was still training hard, still looking to fight. I think bare knuckle would be a excellent avenue for him, just the way he's built, his skill set, his durability. He's looking for a guillotine here. Not impossible to finish, but certainly challenging. And if Armas has proven anything in his past, he has been hard to put away, with submissions in particular.
Yeah. If I remember correctly, Alex, he was just about to sign that contract, right, for bare knuckle before Fury offered him one more fight. Oh. It's like, yeah, I think it was like, I remember hearing that story. It was like right there. And just in the nick of time, Fury came in and offered him a fight. Well, yeah, that would have been interesting.
Yeah, I always love learning just about the game, especially more specific avenues, and I haven't really known many bare-knuckle fighters, and was really asking Murph about the logistics and really the page, all that fun stuff. But I don't blame him for sticking with Fury. Murphy just kind of grinding him out.
And Murphy's corner really wants him to get back up to the feet and use that striking advantage. He had a lot of success.
Oh, little sweep there from Armas.
That was a very odd-looking sweep.
It looked like Murph was thinking about dropping in for an ankle lock, because he definitely wrapped up the ankle.
Oh,
I think Murph's looking for a reversal. Armas has to get that left hook in. If he doesn't get his legs in a better spot, he will get reversed. I mean, he rushed. That was the opportunity he needed in this fight. He was actually kind of gifted, I think, with that sweep and back exposure, but just kind of rushed it.
Yeah, Murphy ready to get this back to the feet. Minute and 20 seconds left here in the third round.
Oh, big right hand. We heard that one.
And yet Armas just keeps going, man. Armas trying to squeeze with what leverage he has right now, but it's really not going to be enough.
It's under the chin, Murph's hand fighting. It's really the lower body positioning that's out.
Yeah, Murphy doing the right thing, trying to center that head into the body.
40 seconds left as Murphy staying pretty active with ground and pound here in this top half position yet again.
30 seconds left in this fight. It's been all Michael Murphy. Some good moments in the return for David Armas.
Oh, a big elbow right to the chin of David Armas.
Yeah, Armas showing some wear and tear on the face.
All right, so we will go to the judges' scorecards, and if that was the final time we see David Armas inside the MMA cage, let's tip our glasses to a really outstanding, fun, busy career. But in this fight, it was all Michael Murphy dominating. What's up, champ? Michael Aswell here.
Michael Aswell in the building, about to go on Dana White's Contender Series next month. Excited about that.
Take a look at some of these highlights for round 3.
Yeah, Armas pretty with it defensively, mitigated as much as he could, but just didn't really have many big moments of offense.
The crowd having a good time here. Nice Sunday for some fights. Fury FC 94 prelims. And if you're watching right now, don't forget we head to UFC Fight Pass at 4:30 p.m. Central Standard Time for Fury FC 94. Adam Vigil taking on Tayde for that middleweight title. Judges are calculating everything up. Wayne will be heading inside shortly. We'll see how they scored it.
And I would imagine it's a 30-27 across the board.
Yeah.
Very dominant for Murphy. I don't know if there was any 10-8s that were worthy of giving out, but that seems like a pretty clear-cut scoring assignment here for these guys.
All right, Wayne is inside. Let's see how the judges scored this one.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of combat, we go to the judges' scorecards for your decision. Brought to you by DeNunaLawFirm.com. All 3 judges scored the fight 30-27, declaring your winner by unanimous decision, Michael Murder Murphy.
I'm here with your winner, Michael Murphy. Michael, so good to see you back in here in the win column. Was this the type of performance you expected to see?
Yeah, I was sick the last 7 days, and I came in, I was a little tired of this fight. But I just want to say something, man. I've been competing since I was 24 years old. I'm 26. I've had some of the fastest knockouts in the best promotions. Man, I want to get somewhere where I can get paid and take care of my family. My little brother's sick from, he competed in MMA. He's had a little brain injury. And nobody don't want to go through that. And this shit's taking shit from me. Taking time away from my family, my wife, and all my friends. And I ain't got nothing to show for it. Like taking 3 months off on these promotions. Man, it ain't helped me one bit. It's just making my bank account worse and worse and worse. I just want to get somewhere where I can get paid and make money. So, if somebody can help me make that shit happen, let's do it.
Well, Michael, you came in here against a veteran, David Armas. Were you surprised at how much damage he was able to take? It looked like you were winning the fight everywhere.
Yeah, a couple times I thought they were going to stop it. Even my coaches told me one time that they were getting close to stopping it. But he's a tough motherfucker, man. Like, I hit him with some clean shots, and he took it like a man. So, hats off to him.
Well, Michael, you took next to no damage. Can we expect to see you in here very quickly?
Yeah, I'd like to, get some schedule. I don't want to take no more short notices. Nobody ain't never whooped my ass in here. This is the first time I took shots on somebody. Last I heard on the podcast, they were talking about have I ever shot in on anybody. I did that one time with, I think his name, one of these dudes went to the UFC. But there was like 10 seconds left in the fight. I was just trying to do something, But most of the time, I'm here to stand and bang, man.
Well, Michael, you're one of our favorite fighters to watch. We talk about it at the booth all the time, and we hope to see you at that next level. Your winner, Michael Murphy.
Congratulations to Michael Murphy. And with that, we have 2 fights left, but we're going to take an intermission, and we will be back for our final 2 fights. Omar Sahlah against Miles Banks and Tayde Garcia against Becca Irwin. We'll be back. Keep this stream up. Do not close the stream. It's going to be on this stream. We're not starting a new one. So with that, we'll take a quick intermission, and we will be back with our final 2 fights.
Welcome back to the Fury FC 94 preliminary live stream. We have 2 more prelims coming your way before the main card at 4:30. Please welcome to the blue corner, Omar El Salah.
Omar El Salah, the former California heavyweight state champion. First time in Fury. Won his debut pro fight in November of 2022 and has taken some time off, Michael, but he's excited for this fight.
Yeah, I think he's excited about this fight because of the way it matches up against his skill set. I mean, I think he thinks he's the better ground guy, and I think he thinks for that reason, you know, he kind of thinks that the height of Miles Banks is going to be to his advantage. He thinks he'll be able to get him to the ground pretty easy.
Yeah, I'll tell you, as a guy who's trained with Miles is very tall, but he's not like tall and lean. He's tall and very muscular and very athletic. And I would say Omar, he's a heavyweight, like a true heavyweight, but I wouldn't call him a big heavyweight. Like Derek Lewis is a big heavyweight. Stipe Miocic is just a heavyweight. And I'll tell you, if you're an average size heavyweight fighting a guy like Miles, there's going to be a disadvantage, you know, in the physical department naturally. And I think that's why this weight class is so much fun to watch, is because there is, what, a 60-pound weight gap, you know, to where you can be a heavyweight at 215 pounds, you can be a heavyweight at 265 pounds.
Yeah, a lot of these heavyweights, Miles Banks being one of them, probably walks around about 280 or 290 pounds. That's cut weight to make 265. So a much bigger man than, you know, guys like Omar, obviously under the 265 limit. He's not going to have to cut any weight. You know, that's a good thing for, you know, camp-wise, but as far as the sizing, man, it's a huge difference.
Omar El Salah, final prayers here before he goes in. The bull is inside. Let's meet his opponent.
Please welcome to the red corner, Miles Banks.
Miles Banks. Everyone is excited about his future. Coming in with a 2-1 record, 4-time inside the Fury FC cage as a pro on a 1-fight win streak. You know, that last fight against Quentin Campbell, Miles wrote on Instagram and just said, Quentin's one of the toughest dudes I've ever faced because he was connecting flush. And I know afterwards, Michael, you talked to him about you took your time to really implement your game plan, and that's fine and all, but he really was trying to finish that fight.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you're a heavyweight, you know, there's not many heavyweights that you can say he just doesn't have knockout power. Most of these heavyweights, when they connect with someone, they're going down. But also, on the other end of it, they also are used to taking heavyweight punches. So, you know, a lot of these guys are just tough, and relative to their size, they're a tough heavyweight, Alex.
Yeah, and I know Miles is a hard work. I've done a few rounds with him. I always compare sparring with Miles like playing Call of Duty on hardcore mode. One shot and you're out. To be very diligent, but beyond that, he's always working hard, but he brings such a fun energy to the training. He's joking around. He's built really good relationships with his training partners. A really fun guy to watch out for.
Our tail of the tape brought to you by the Danuna Law Firm. Height advantage for Miles Banks, a reach advantage going to Omar El Salah. Both heavyweights are inside, ready to go, so let's get our official introductions.
The following contest, brought to you by DanunaLawFirm.com, is scheduled for 3 rounds in the Fury FC Heavyweight Division. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner. This mixed martial artist stands 6 feet 4 inches tall, and he weighed in at 263 pounds. Fighting out of Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, by way of Palestine, he holds a professional record of 1 win, no losses. Here is Omar, the Bull, El Salah. And introducing his opponent across the cage, fighting out of the red corner. This freestyle fighter stands 6 feet 5 inches tall, and he weighed in officially at 259.2 pounds. Fighting out of Houston, Texas, by way of Queens, New York. His professional record stands at 2 wins, only 1 defeat. This is Miles Banks. Your referee in charge of the action, Professor Joe Solis.
All right, Professor Joe Solis with the heavyweight assignment. El Sahlah, blue gloves. Miles Banks, red gloves, red trunks. Kicks to open us up.
There's no way Miles Banks is only 6'5".
Yeah, I think he put the height a little bit shorter because we've seen 6'8" before.
Yeah. In Robelo's Spain fight, he lists himself as 6'8".
Yeah, even that may not be accurate.
Yeah.
Miles is getting a lot of great work out of that left underhook. Landed a big knee, has turned Omar twice now.
This fight was supposed to happen twice. The first time around, Miles had to pull out because of his ACL injury. Second time, Omar had to, but both guys ready to run this. They've been wanting this fight.
Oh, big uppercut. We can hear that one. And, you know, if Omar was looking to wrestle, he's been clinched up with some overhooks and underhooks for a good minute now. He needs to make the most out of this opportunity. I think if you're going to get Miles down, you got to do it early because you let him get a pace going, get comfortable. It's going to be harder and harder. Very physical match early on. Some really good knees in the clinch here for Miles. Oh, big elbow into a left hook. I don't know if Omar was faking a level change or shooting, but Miles caught an underhook quick.
Yeah, Omar having some real problems controlling Miles Banks here. And this is what we talked about, Alex. I mean, just the size of Miles Banks is, you know, it's a weapon in itself.
Oh,
ooh,
man.
Big elbow.
Props to Omar for eating that one as well as he did.
That elbow came in at one of those slicer angles. I'm surprised there's no blood flowing right now.
Quite the pace here in this fight. Very physical in the clinch. Miles has landed probably 5 or 6 of those big clinch knees right to the solar flex. Oh, big flurry there from Omar.
Miles just smiling. Took a low kick there. Did Banks. And that's the thing with Omar. He's not backing down at all. He is not afraid to throw. Be involved in some firefights, but got to be careful with a guy like Miles Banks.
Miles turns him again. Again, you know, Miles out of war. You know, I train with these guys a lot, but I just know they drill so much wrestling and wall work, like before and after sparring.
Omar reversing the position here. Is it the difference is Miles able to get in tight on Omar? Omar not able to get in as tight on Miles.
Camera needs to look out.
He's literally on top of it.
Yeah, I don't know if he can hold that camera up high enough. Pull it out of the cage.
Oh, Omar's throwing some crazy combos and flurries.
He's throwing them from the waist. Like faking a shot and just throwing a left and just hoping it connects. Another big knee.
Cut over the right eye of Omar. I don't think it's anything major, but he's definitely shown some blood from there.
This is a crazy pace for two heavyweights.
Yeah, it is. And it has not slowed down.
No, not a bit.
Under 1 minute left in round one.
Miles did take that right side underhook. Oh,
big elbow. Omar landed a few good shots there in that exchange.
Let's see if Miles goes for this guillotine. He's got it under. He's got his hands together. Classic style grip. It's funny, I think his arms are so long. He's going to have to take a lot of slack out. There's phase number one. Uses it to defend. Nice little reversal. Man, what a grind of a fight.
10 seconds left.
That cut may come in front of one of the headbutt of some of Omar's crazy entries. What a scrap. I did not expect this fight to honestly really go past the first, but to take place so close quarters.
Take a look at our round 1 highlights. Big moments for Miles Banks, but Omar connected on a few good exchanges as well.
Yeah, a lot of clinch work here in the first round. Both guys exchanging, getting the better of the other for different parts of the round. Nice flurry there from Omar.
I'd love to see that elbow that Banks threw. That was a nice elbow from Omar. But early in the round, maybe in the first minute, Miles ripped a huge elbow, and Omar ate it very well. So Eric and McMaynard, Wayne Austin cage-side enjoying the fight.
Yeah, if there wasn't already enough at stake, Mick Maynard is in the house. He's usually watching our cards. I was talking to him during our intermission. He's giving us kind words about our broadcast, so always good to hear.
Excellent. Always good to have Mick in the building. Whenever people see him, you know, sometimes he sits up there up top and you don't really see him. You don't really know he's in here. But when fighters see him, I love it because they turn it up another notch 100% of the time. Round 2 starting at the same pace as round 1 ended.
Yeah, Mick Maynard was actually one of my first kickboxing coaches back when I was like 17.
Wow.
It was cool.
Just an absolute legend in the Houston MMA scene, has done so much for the sport here, not only in Houston, but Texas, and now with the UFC. A little shoulder shrug pushback after that big whiff.
Man.
Yeah, you don't see this very often, but I think Miles was too close to him to land those punches. His arms are so long. Punched right past and around the head of Omar.
This is the closest Omar's gotten to a resemblance of a takedown.
It seems like he was just holding on more than anything.
He's got a good chance of a reversal here. That deep underhook. Man. I mean, how often do heavyweights potentially get a fight of the night style fight?
I did not think we'd see this much cage work either.
Man, and props to these big guys for not slowing down. So Mick Flyweight's tired.
Definitely going to test the cardio of both of these guys. Be interesting if this pace continues through the second round. Ooh, those big elbows.
Oh, man.
And Omar going off on Miles Banks.
Omar got some cardio in his style.
Ooh.
No, Miles Banks in a world of trouble here now.
He's got to address that choking arm. He's got to roll. He's got to do something. He can't sit here.
And he definitely can't keep taking these punches.
Has Miles Banks been broken, working his way up.
He's got a good base. He's got to get the hips over. I mean, he's so close. Wow. All heart here for Miles Banks as Omar is just keeping this onslaught going.
Halfway mark of round 2.
See if he throws those big elbows. He's got to be careful of the back of the head, but I mean.
I wonder if this pace is catching up to both guys now.
Well, it looks like Miles is suffering a little worse from the cardio wears. But he is still landing those big shots. You saw Omar change position after that big elbow to the ribs.
Yeah.
And Miles has to fight this takedown at all costs. He cannot afford to get back down to the mat. Ooh, big uppercut from Omar. Big elbow.
Omar executing a perfect game plan in round 2, keeping things tight, continuously working.
Reversed by Banks. Banks got to get back up to his feet, though.
Oh, man, I think Miles Banks is exhausted.
Back, giving up once more. Right arm coming across the face of Miles Banks.
That's a big man.
Man, that is a lot of strength.
He's still not in a great spot. You can see he's just getting some air. Less than a minute left here in the second round.
Omar complaining that Miles is grabbing his glove.
Omar just continuously working, hitting that exposed face of Miles.
Omar dominating so far here in the second round. 20 seconds left.
I think Miles catching his breath. He's got to watch for the potential choke, but I think he lost the second round anyway. So I think maybe some damage mitigation and a little bit of a breather is what he needs right now.
Five seconds left in the round. Don't think there's going to be a finish here. So we go to round 3.
Oh, man.
I'm tired of watching these guys.
Yeah.
And Miles is exhausted.
Yeah, this round was all Omar. I mean, that may have been the highlight of the round for Miles. I was landed a couple of shots early, but Omar kind of took this second round over, bullying Miles Banks just a little bit.
Yeah,
Had his back a couple of times.
Feeling the pace himself. I mean, he's got his arms up on his coach's shoulders, taking big breaths. I mean, he put a lot of effort in that second round. I want to say it's certainly 1-1 going into 3.
Yeah, very interesting how this turns out. I have a feeling we'll see them both gasping at each other for about a minute, just circling around the cage to start round 3, but maybe not. Omar being very aggressive so far. You know, Miles an incredible athlete inside and outside the cage, so you got to wonder this third and final round to decide it all.
You know, last time out, Miles pushed Quentin Campbell to round 3, and this time Miles is being pushed to round 3. I think it's the best way to put it.
Oh, man.
Oh, man, big punches, mouthpiece flying out. Yeah, Omar if he just throws a bunch of punches here, connects on a few, that could have been the finish. Miles having a tough time.
Yeah, thankfully we got Joe Solis in there, and he knows when guys are tired and can absorb some, you know, lackluster strikes and when they're actually hurt. So I don't know if we'll see just like a volume style stoppage here.
Oh,
nice underhook though. That was a really well-timed potential reversal here for Miles. He's got to get topside, and that kind of action gives you a second win. With a big knee. Nice uppercut there from Miles.
oh.
And Omar's just on him. Crazy. Oh, man, I mean, that's a deep ghillie attempt. I'm not too sure, arsenal-wise, if Miles is a big guillotine guy. Now I used it to try to pummel that right side underhook. Get his hips back, breaking the grips there of Omar.
Delivered a knee, did Miles, but ate a couple of punches in return.
Left hand there from Omar. Costello trying to get this to the ground again. Halfway through the round 3. Miles Banks has got to do something to come back here.
I mean, this third round, not a lot has happened. You see Omar kind of pressuring Miles to the cage, shooting, but then being stuffed. If any one guy has a big flurry, that could score really well. I think the big question is, do they have that flurry in them? Because, I mean, this pace is not slow. This has been a very tough fight for both guys.
.145 left in this fight.
There's a low blow.
Yeah, as many clinch knees as they've had in here, and the height difference, I'm surprised it's the first one we've seen.
At this point, the way these guys are looking inside with that conditioning would be wise to use all the minutes.
I found Miles Banks. That's the worst low blow I've ever been hit with in my life.
Yep.
I think I need all 5 minutes.
Yeah, let's get a review here and see.
Yeah, I mean, that was right on the cuff.
Pretty unquestionable there.
Yep. I would have sold it like LeBron James. I need 5 minutes. Man, what about that pace? To start the fight, that first round was just non-stop, grueling work for both guys. Second round, it was all Omar El Sahlah, especially after that about 3:20 mark. He was in control. Now both guys getting a much-needed rest after the low blow connect.
The breather action.
The problem with this is that you're taking the time, but the fight clock stops. And so when you resume, you still have half this round in round 3 to go.
Let's take one more look at the flush connect. Bang.
I mean, definitely not the hardest knee, but I mean, that hit only the cup.
Yeah.
That only hit the cup. I mean, that was as accurate a low blow as you could hope to not get hit with. But honestly, I mean, we'll see. We'll see how this last 90 seconds goes. This could have been the best thing to happen to Miles. You know what I mean? The ref talking to the timekeep. See how much time we got left? So we got 30 seconds left.
Joe Solis talking to Omar. Looks like we're ready to get back to action here.
All right, back to action.
Chaperone to glove touch.
Oh, man.
I can't believe Omar still has so much pop. Miles pushes into the cage.
Omar tried to push that head down to get that guillotine. A little over a minute left here in round 3. Still anybody's round here. I think Omar is inching it out just a hair.
I think it's still like any one big moment.
Yeah, I do too.
For either guy.
Yeah, I do too. I think the only reason is because of they haven't been great moments, but they have been a moment. So that's the only difference here in the third round. And Miles not at this point not looking like he's doing anything offensive right now. Ooh, big elbow.
Man, that was huge. 30 seconds
Another
left.
elbow.
Unofficially 30 seconds, roughly. Miles needs a big moment right now in the worst way if he wants to maybe steal this round. 10 seconds left. Will this final flurry be enough for Omar El Sahlah to control? Is that going to be the story of round 3? And it looks like it is.
Man, a wild pace.
Yeah, Omar Sahlah, you know, when he had great moments whenever they went to the ground. He was able to get Miles Banks' back a couple times. Both guys landed some really heavy shots, but I think the volume belongs to Omar. Miles had some really good moments, especially in round 1. Since then, I mean, it's been, you know, the third round was a little uneventful, but I think just on volume alone, I think Omar may have inched out that third round, but very tough fight, very close fight, and you're right, Alex, I'm kind of surprised at the cardio of Omar.
You know, he had just enough in the gas tank to push forward and control Miles. And you could even see after the fight, Miles didn't even raise his hands. You know, usually you try to convince one of the judges that final, I think I won this fight. I don't know how often that works or not, but you can just tell Miles is exhausted. Good sportsmanship between these guys. What an absolute battle.
I'm curious to see the score.
All right, Wayne is heading inside. So let's see how the judges scored this one. Omar Al-Salah wanted this fight. Let's see if he had enough to win it. Here's Wayne.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of combat, we go to the judges' scorecards for your decision. Brought to you by DeNunoLawFirm.com. With scores of 29-28, 30-27, and 29-28, your winner by unanimous decision, Omar the Bull El-Salah.
Hey.
I'm here with your winner, Omar El-Salah. Omar, did you expect this to be such a clinch-heavy fight?
No, honestly, I predicted a first-round finish, but Miles is a beast, man. That was a fucking war. And I love every one of you out here that made it out. I really appreciate y'all. You're an amazing crowd. This is an amazing venue, Eric. You put on a great show, my man. My favorite show so far. And I want to start out by saying, Alhamdulillah, it wouldn't have been without God if I wasn't here.
Omar, you look like you were getting the better of the flurries, especially in the second and third round. Very close first round, but is that about what you expected? Were you just going to overwhelm him with those punches?
Honestly, the game plan was to just sit back and try to just let the game go. That's the kind of fighter I am. I'm the bull. I bull rush. I get in there, you know what I'm saying? I get in there and bull rush this shit. Yeah, it was a fun round. It was a fun match.
Well, you definitely did that. You're 2-0 now. What do you want next out of this heavyweight division from Fury Fighting Championships?
Where's Eric? Eric, I want another fight as soon as possible. I'm ready to go, baby. I'm on a rocket ship. Let me know.
Your winner, Omar El-Salah.
Congratulations to Omar El-Salah coming into Houston and getting a huge win over Miles Banks. Keeps that record perfect as Omar. Congratulations to him once more. And man, that pace was something I didn't think we'd see in a heavyweight fight, but we did. And that leaves us with one more fight. Let's meet our next fighter.
Please welcome to the blue corner, Tayde Garcia.
Tayde Garcia. First time inside the Fury FC cage. On a 1-fight losing streak right now. Fought in April last time out, Michael.
Yeah, fought Hannah Goldie and lost that fight by armbar. But she also has some wins by armbar, so, considers herself pretty savvy in submissions. Is a woman of few words. She doesn't say much. She just comes out here to fight.
She did let us know that the name is Tayde, so make sure we say it correctly. And I actually appreciate that. Let us know how to pronounce your names. We want to say it correctly, so thank you, Tayde.
Yeah, and we have butchered some names in our days here at the at the Fury table, and it's always nice whenever the fighters communicate with us. And you know, Tayde is very tough, and great of her to take this fight against someone that is as highly touted in their debut as Becca Irwin, her opponent.
Yeah, very young herself, only 20 years old. Actually younger than Becca, who's known for being young. I mean, this will be a fun fight. It's young, hungry professionals. Curious if she's gonna, you know, try to wrestle early on, but we'll see.
Tayde is inside. Let's meet her opponent.
Please welcome Becca Irwin to the red corner.
Well, we finally have a fight for Becca Irwin. Last time she was supposed to fight back at the Epicenter in Rosenberg. Her opponent did not show up the day of the fight, and the highly anticipated debut was pushed to today. And it's finally here. The celebrated, decorated Muay Thai fighter is making this MMA debut.
Yeah, and you know, anytime there's a highly anticipated debut like this, we ran into it with Liv Beerley and a couple other things where not a lot of people wanted to fight her. A scrappy veteran that had a few fights under their belt finally took it, and it, you know, didn't work out for Liv on her debut. And Becca, I'm sure she knows that. She's been fighting in Muay Thai and kickboxing for a long time, and especially to be as young as she is, Alex.
Yeah, and again, I wish I had known the exact amount of time. Like, I should look up when her last pro kickboxing match was, and then the time spent until now. I know they took, you know, more than a year off to develop her ground game, her wrestling game. I'm really curious to see if she's able to use it in this fight.
Our tail of the tape brought to you by OnlyFans. The reach advantage, height advantage for the 23-year-old Becca Irwin, who is inside the cage as well. Let's get our official introductions for our final prelims fight of the night.
The following contest, brought to you by OnlyFans, is scheduled for 3 rounds in the Fury FC Flyweight Division. Introducing your first competitor, fighting out of the blue corner. This mixed martial artist stands 5 feet 6 inches tall, and she weighed in officially at 125.8 pounds. Fighting out of Alvin, Texas. Today, she looks for a second win as a pro. This is Tayde Garcia. And introducing her opponent across the cage, fighting out of the red corner. This kickboxer stands 5 feet 8 inches tall, and she weighed in at 124.6 pounds. Fighting out of Houston, Texas. Today, she makes her professional debut. Here is Becca Irwin. Your referee in charge of the action, Ryan Thompson.
Ryan Thompson inside. Final fight of our prelims broadcast. Blue gloves for Tayde. Becca in the red.
Oh, wow. Furious pace to start out here from Tayde.
Yeah, Tayde was looking to wrestle very early on.
Sometimes you just got to bring the fight to your opponent.
Really good clinch knees there from Becca, something she's very familiar with. Tayde in on a single now, got her hands connected.
Yeah, she needs to push her hips just a little bit further and get closer, hip to hip. The front of her hips with the edge of the hip of Becca Irwin.
Becca, before the age of 18, won 3 International Federation of Muay Thai Amateur Championships. How about that? World Championships. 3 of them before she turned 18.
Yeah, and I remember seeing some of those finishes, head kicks. There were some elbow knockouts, some knee knockouts. Nice little frame elbow there from Becca.
Yeah, watching a couple of her Muay Thai fights, her elbows are devastating.
Also fought in Glory, kickboxing rules, so punches and kicks very strong as well. Tayde doing a good job, though, trying to put herself in a position to win this fight. Ends up kind of going for like a half-hearted lat drop / guard pull.
And it looks like she's going to go for a heel hook here.
She's got a strong outside reap.
Yeah, she does. Just got to be careful here. Ooh.
Going back in for the reap. Becca did a good job rotating the right way.
Oh, man. That was a devastating knee, and the debut of Bekah Irwin ends in a huge moment.
Wow.
Woo!
And that was not the first clinch knee. She probably hit 5 or 6 of them prior to the stoppage, too. But man, just found one to the head, then one to the body. Puts Tayde on her butt, just flurries. Gets the first round TKO.
Man, at Bekah Irwin's first opportunity to get some space between her and Garcia, she just unloaded on her. That was very, very quick. What a devastating finish there.
Man, that knee, we could hear it over here. That was wild. I want to see that replay. And just look how cool, calm, and collected Bekah is.
Yeah, this may be her first MMA fight, but this has got to be her probably 40th, combat sports match.
Man, shout out to Tayde, Garcia. Hope to see Tayde back here as well.
Bang, right to the solar plex. Another big knee. And another right on the liver, puts her down.
Followed up with some heavy strikes. Ryan Thompson saw enough. And that's how Bekah gets her first win as a professional. Here at Fury FC, let's make things official. Here's Wayne.
Ladies and gentlemen, the end comes. 1 minute, 49 seconds into the very first round. Declaring your winner by TKO, Bekah Irwin.
The highly anticipated debut of Bekah Irwin. Bekah, you had to expect that she was probably going to get this fight to the ground as quickly as possible. Is that what you were expecting?
Yeah, we've been working a lot on a takedown defense. People just trying to rush me and stuff, so we were ready.
So it looked like as soon as you were able to get some space between you and her, and you had her at the right distance, it was pretty quick finish after that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I was looking for it.
Well, Bekah, you've highly anticipated. It was a highly anticipated pro debut. You're 1-0 now. What's next for you? You took no damage. You gonna be back in here pretty quick?
I'm gonna try to, yeah, just be as active as possible.
Well, it was very impressive. We look forward to seeing you again. Your winner, Bekah Irwin.
Congratulations. Congratulations to Bekah Irwin on a huge debut win. And that will do it for our prelims broadcast of Fury FC 94. And thank you so much for joining us. And remember, we will head to UFC Fight Pass at 4:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, 5:30 Eastern. On behalf of the entire Fury team, our DNA Studio Productions team, for Alex Morono, for Michael Alexander, I'm Micheal. Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you on UFC Fight Pass.
Woo!